Hey, what's up, guys? CombatCritique here. Let's take a look at this upcoming fight between Marina Rodriguez and Michelle Waterson. So let's get started. If we take a look at the records of these two fighters, starting with Marina. So Marina has 21 fights and she has won 16 of her 21 fights, lost 3, and she also has 2 draws on her record. If we talk about her 16 wins, she has 6 wins via knockout, just 1 via submission, and another 9 wins via decision. If we talk about her 3 losses, she has lost just once via knockout and twice via decision. Overall, a pretty solid striker. Now let's take a look at Michelle Waterson's record. So Michelle Waterson has 29 fights and she's won 18 of those 29 fights, lost 11. If we talk about her 18 wins, she has just 3 wins via knockout, 9 wins via submission, and 6 wins via decision. So looking at her record, it looks like she is a better submission artist than a striker. However, she has not used her submissions in recent fights and she's been mostly striking in all her fights. Let's talk about her 11 losses. She has lost just once via knockout, 4 times via submission, and another 6 times via decision. Now let's take a look at the physical and career stats of these two fighters. Starting with the height, it is 5'6" for Marina Rodriguez and 5'3" for Michelle Waterson. So Marina Rodriguez is a pretty tall fighter for the division. She will have a 3-inch height advantage. Next up, weight. So both these fighters are 115 pounds and I don't think any of them will miss weight. If we talk about the reach, it is 65 inches for Marina Rodriguez and 62 inches for Michelle Waterson. So again, a 3-inch advantage goes to Marina Rodriguez in the reach department. If we talk about the stance, both these fighters are orthodox stance fighters. And if we talk about the age, so both of them are pretty old now. Marina Rodriguez is the slightly younger fighter, but even then she is like 36, 37 years old. Michelle Waterson is even older. These fighters are not in their prime, I believe, and for Michelle Waterson, especially, I think it's only downhill from here. Marina Rodriguez can make one last run to the title. Now let's talk about the career statistics of both these fighters, starting with the strikes landed per minute. So this signifies the number of significant strikes that you land on your opponent per minute on average. This is 4.58 for Marina Rodriguez and it is 3.63 for Michelle Waterson. So in this case, Marina Rodriguez has a clear advantage. She is landing more strikes on her opponents per minute. Next up, we have the striking accuracy, which is 47% for Marina Rodriguez and 46% for Michelle Waterson. So in this case, both these fighters are pretty even, but a slight advantage goes to Rodriguez. Next up, we have the strikes absorbed per minute. So this is the opposite of strikes landed per minute, and this signifies the number of strikes that you absorb from your opponents per minute. This is 2.94 for Marina Rodriguez, and it is 4.01. Sorry, it is 4.01 for Michelle Waterson. So this is a pretty high number, and in this case you want this to be as low as possible because you are getting hit lesser than your opponent. So here the advantage again goes to Marina Rodriguez. She is getting hit lesser from her opponents than Michelle Waterson. Next up, we have the striking defense, which is 57% for Marina Rodriguez and 51% for Michelle Waterson. So again, the advantage here goes to Marina Rodriguez overall. All the 4 metrics that we have seen so far are for the striking and they all favor Marina Rodriguez over Michelle Waterson. We can say that Marina Rodriguez is a better striker than Michelle Waterson. Now let's talk about the wrestling, grappling and BJJ statistics, starting with the takedown average, which is just 0.17 for Marina Rodriguez. What this means is in a 15-minute fight, Marina Rodriguez usually gets 0.17 takedowns, and this is an average over many fights. If we talk about this number for Michelle Waterson, it is 1.4. So Michelle Waterson clearly has the wrestling advantage. Next up, we have the takedown accuracy, which is 33% for Marina Rodriguez as well as Michelle Waterson. So nobody has a clear advantage here. Next up, we have the takedown defense, which is 64% for Marina Rodriguez and 72% for Michelle Waterson. So in this case, advantage goes to Michelle Waterson. She is having a pretty good takedown defense. Submission average is zero point 0.2 for Marina Rodriguez and it is zero point 0.7 for Michelle Waterson. So the advantage here again goes to Michelle Waterson. Overall, in the striking part, there's a clear advantage to Marina Rodriguez. However, in the wrestling, grappling, and BJJ, there's a clear advantage to Michelle Waterson. And if she wants to win this fight, she should be using her wrestling and her grappling. Now let's take a look at the significant strikes by position and by target for both these fighters. Starting with the significant strikes by position, if we start with Marina Rodriguez, 68% of all her strikes are from the standing position, 22% from the clinch, and just 9% on the ground. Compare this with Michelle Waterson, who has 71% of all her strikes from the standing position, 18% from the clinch. So she uses the clinch strikes less effectively than Marina Rodriguez, and 11% on the ground. So she is slightly better ground and pound fighter compared to Marina Rodriguez. Now let's take a look at the significant strikes by target. Starting with Marina Rodriguez, so 53% of all the strikes that Marina throws are to the head, 26% to the body, and 21% to the leg. If we compare this with Michelle Waterson, 46% of all her strikes are to the head, 28% to the body, and 26% to the leg. So both these fighters are pretty diversified in terms of their shot selection. They are not head hunting all the time. They like to go to the body and use that leg kick effectively. Now let's take a look at the previous performances of these two fighters, starting with Marina. So Marina in her last fight lost to Virna Jandiroba via unanimous decision, and this fight happened in May of this year. It was a 3-round fight. So she is not taking a lot of time off and she is coming back to fight after about 4 or 5 months. If we talk about the fight before that, she again lost to Amanda Lemos via TKO punches, and this was a pretty sad loss for her because she was being looked as a contender and she was about to challenge for the title if she would have won a few more fights. However, she lost to Amanda Lemos. This fight happened in November of last year and this TKO happened in the third round. Before that, she was on a 4-fight win streak that included Jan Jaonan via split decision, Mackenzie Dern via unanimous decision, and Michelle Waterson also via unanimous decision. So this is the second time that these two fighters are fighting. Marina Rodriguez beat Michelle Waterson back in 2021, and this was a 5-round main event on a UFC fight night. Before that, she also beat Amanda Ribas, so some pretty solid wins on her record. And before that, she lost a split decision to Carla Esparza and had a draw with Cynthia Calvillo. Before that, she again beat Tisha Torres and Jessica Aguilar. So big names on the resume of Marina Rodriguez. Now let's take a look at Michelle Waterson's previous performances. So in her last fight, she lost to Liana Pinheiro via split decision, and this fight happened in April of this year. It was a 3-round fight. So just like Marina, even Michelle is not taking a lot of time off and now coming back to fight once again in 2023. If we talk about the fight before that, she lost to Amanda Lemos via guillotine choke, and this happened in the second round. This fight happened in July of last year. Before that was the loss to Marina Rodriguez. She got beat via unanimous decision. It was a 5-round main event. And before that is her only win in the last couple of years, and where she beat Angela Hill via split decision. And this fight was a 5-round fight and it happened in September of 2020. Angela Hill has had a lot of split decision losses in her record. This was one of them. Before that, again, Michelle Waterson lost to Carla Esparza via split decision and Joanna via unanimous decision. So she has not won a fight decisively since March 30 of 2019. This was the last time where she beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz via unanimous decision. She also beat Angela Hill, but that was a close split decision fight. So Michelle Waterson is really showing the effects of, going past her prime. She is, I believe, 36 or 37 years old. This is the second time they are fighting, and I think all this information is enough to give the pick for this fight. So my pick for this fight is Marina Rodriguez. I believe she is the better striker. She is slightly younger and She also has the confidence of knowing that she beat Michelle Waterson the first time. I think if she stuffs the takedowns of Michelle Waterson, she's gonna win this fight on the feet. She is a better striker. We have seen that. We have seen this, and I believe this will be a unanimous decision win for Marina Rodriguez. That's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.